7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes over. Great stop. And then he hammers it home. Broke his ankles.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today I'm going to be talking about Obi Toppin and are the New York Knicks failing him, because I feel like the New York Knicks are handling Obi Toppin in one of the worst ways possible in my opinion. But don't get me wrong, we're going to put this whole situation into context about where he was drafted, why did we draft him at the time, like was it a Leon Rose pick, was it a Tom Thibodeau pick, how his minutes are being managed. Let's get right into it. So first off, I do think this was a Leon Rose pick. I don't think Tom Thibodeau was very high on Obi Toppin as a prospect, in my opinion, because when you think of Tom Thibodeau, you think of strictly defense. Obi Toppin, coming out of Dayton, wasn't necessarily known as this big-time defender. And Leon Rose, he's a big name guy. Like, you think of his clients like that he's had like throughout his agency and all that. He's a big name guy for sure. And Obi Toppin was this high flyer coming out of Dayton, like having some ridiculous dunks. He was supposed to be the impact right away basketball player. And Julius Randle came off of a season that we wanted him gone. Yes, we do have to put into context, like David Fizdale, not the greatest of coach. He was not surrounded with a lot of talent, but Julius Randle, plain and simple, did not play good basketball at all. So we drafted Obi Toppin, the best player available, at number 8. Well, there is the connection with the agency, so Leon Rose is going to kind of be biased here. But at the end of the day, if Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose were not on the same page when it came to drafting Obi Toppin, I think that's a management mistake. I really do. Hopefully they were on the same page. So we go on to take Obi Toppin. Julius Randle ends up having a breakout year that no one expected at all. Yes, we could say Julius Randle had the talent, but it was all about up here. Was he going to be good mentally? And last season, he was a pretty mentally tough player. And yes, you could say he lets the refs get under his skin sometimes, like the Brooklyn Nets game, but he put his head down, got into better shape. He started to distribute the basketball more. He started to become a better all-around player. At one point, he was an MVP candidate. He led us to the playoffs. So let's be real. No one expected Julius Randle to have the season he did. Maybe you thought he was going to have an improvement, but some people thought Julius Randle was going to be gone. Some people didn't even think he was going to be back when it came to the last season, and we thought Obi Toppin was going to get plenty of minutes, and it was going to be a developmental year. How does Obi Toppin and RJ mesh? Like, how do the young guys, like, play together and all that? So Julius Randle has a great year. I understand why Obi Toppin did not get a lot of minutes. He did struggle, though. Obi Toppin looked like a very raw player for being 23 years old coming out of Dayton. I thought of him as like a 23-year-old project. He had ways to go when it came to positioning himself on the defense side of the basketball. I thought his shooting splits were overrated. He did not shoot a ton of threes. Like, there were some very inaccurate shots from beyond the arc. And I felt like Tom Thibodeau's play style didn't really fit Obi Toppin. And I thought we didn't have the personnel at the time, because Obi Toppin's someone that he's someone that likes to get out and run. But then we saw throughout the season towards the tail end, when we acquired a Derrick Rose in the playoffs, that fast style of play of Derrick Rose working downhill, he did a good job finding an Obi Toppin, and he had a good end of the season. So now we enter like this year. Julius Randle is not as good. He's not as good as a basketball player. He's really struggled if it's in big moments, turning over the ball, still not being able to handle double teams. Like, he has still had good games. I apologize for my stuttering there, but there's been more bad than good this season from Julius Randle. And I'm not saying he's a bad leader. He's a lead by example guy, but his body language hasn't been the greatest. Like, I know a lot of people were going to say that's just me hating on Julius Randle. No, his body language is inconsistent. There's some games that he's being a great leader. He's communicating with his guys. He's keeping everyone's heads up. And then there's some games that he's just complaining to the refs. And who are you going to look to when it comes to, like, leadership? You're going to look to your number one option. What is your number one option doing? And that's not a good look when your number one option is complaining continuously throughout the basketball game, and he doesn't hold himself accountable at times. Like, he knows he can play better as a basketball player, but he really has to do a better job keeping his emotions in check. But anyway, Obi Toppin, he's improved this season. He really has, because we know what his play style is. We have Derrick Rose from the start. He's looked good with him. Emmanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin have really meshed together and built this chemistry, which I absolutely love. But this is the problem. Julius Randle not playing as good. Obi Toppin has improved, but he's still only getting like 2 more minutes compared to last year. He's only averaging 15.8 minutes per game, which is unacceptable. And we saw a perfect example the other night. Maybe you could say Jericho Sims should have came into the game because he's a center. Taj Gibson, Mitchell Robinson, foul out. We don't even put Sims in. We don't even put Obi Toppin out there on the floor. We treat Obi Toppin like he's an emergency policy player, and I don't understand it at all. Because if you have watched Obi Toppin this season, yes, he's not looking like some future star, But then at the end of the day, you don't know that because he doesn't get the consistent minutes you could say he deserves. Like last year, you could say he didn't look ready for the NBA. Like he didn't deserve the minutes. But also, what do you expect him to do in like 10 minutes of action? Not big time. Not big time like minutes. To really get an opportunity, or not big time numbers as well. But like you see what Obi is capable of this year, distributing the basketball. He's one of our best passers on this team, and it's kind of unacceptable that our best passer, like good for Julius Randle, 5 assists per game, awesome for him, like individually, but as a team, your assist leader shouldn't average 5 assists per game. And it's just a different play style. It's a better brand of basketball when Obi Toppin's out there on the floor. We're continuously moving the ball. Like we're getting open 3-point shots. We're making the extra pass. It is an ISO, ISO, ISO. And I feel like it's been kind of a failure for Obi from the start. Not for him individually, but for like just the draft selection and the fit, I think is awful because Julius Randle, like he's the guy that controls the flow of the game. He continuously has the ball in his hands, and his play style is way different from Obi. And we know Tom Thibodeau doesn't really like to continuously get out and run. So I feel like the fit's already bad when it comes to just the consistent play style. It's not there at all. And Obi and Randle, we've seen it work out a couple times with them out there on the floor, but it's not going to work out consistently because they have different play styles. But yes, Obi's been a good passer of the ball. He's getting out and running. He plays extremely hard. He's improved on the defense side of the basketball. And for him to like barely get any minutes, I think it's just unacceptable from Tom Thibodeau. Not like he's not learning, not like he's not improving, like he's improving. And think about it, these last 8 games, 9 minutes, 17 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 14 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes. That's a combined 89 minutes throughout that 8-game stretch. Like, it's just unacceptable in my opinion. We took this dude 8th overall. I'm not expecting him to start, but I'm expecting him to get more burn because he is an impactful player out there on the floor. And he's even like starting to put the ball on the floor more. Like at one point of the season, he was getting a good amount of minutes and his confidence was high. And that's another thing. What are you doing to Obi Toppin? You're teasing him. Like, and I'm not even trying to make a joke there. Like, you're literally teasing him. You give him minutes for a good stretch of games. Like, he's playing good basketball. Like that Raptors game when he had 19 points. Like, he's playing good basketball. His confidence is high. Like, compared to last year, it just felt like Tom Thibodeau was on his neck or he was just on his back, like, every single second, and he held him accountable, like, so much. He was very tough on Obi, which I understand. Tom Thibodeau's very tough on rookies. But this season, it just looks like he's more confident, and it's more free-flowing out there on the basketball floor. But yeah, he's playing good basketball, but then his minutes dip. And it's not like his minutes should be dipping because Julius Randle's playing great basketball. He's not playing great basketball. So that looks bad on Tom Thibodeau. He's handing out minutes to players that really don't deserve high minutes of playing great ball at all. I understand even when Julius Randle is off, that the defense still attracts on him because he's our number one option. But you're messing with Obi Toppin's confidence. You really are. I don't care if you're the most mentally tough player in the world. You're still going to be having that like in the back of your head. Am I playing good enough when he's playing completely fine or good enough for a bench player? At the end of the day, it's only his second year in the league. I don't care how old he is. It's his second year in the league, and I think it's unacceptable from Tom Thibodeau. But yeah, we're treating him like an emergency policy player. Like at times, it seems like he holds Obi more accountable than like other players at times. Like for example, everyone missing free throws, everyone turning the ball over like one game. But then Obi comes in, he misses free throws, he turns the ball over or misses a defensive assignment, he just yanks Obi. Or when Obi's just giving us so much energy and so much momentum, he yanks him for no reason, and it makes no sense. So at the end of the day, was Tom Thibodeau not high on Obi Toppin, and this was just a Leon Rose pick? And also, like, the management needs to be on the same page. If they weren't on the same page when they drafted Obi, that is bad. So hopefully there's not that biasty if he doesn't like Obi at all. And is Obi going to end up being in a trade package? Is he gone already? And that's another bad look. We just can't draft at all. 2017 Frank. I know Frank, he wasn't some future star when we drafted him, or at least I didn't look at him as that. I thought he could be a solid player, and he wasn't the greatest. But we mess with Frank's confidence. Like, yes, you could bash Frank all you want, like, not a great shooter consistently and all the negative traits. But you have to agree with me when I say we mess with Frank's confidence. We mess with Kevin Knox's confidence. We brought in a Marcus Morris. You could say there was a reason Kevin Knox wasn't great, but we still mess with his confidence. And RJ Barrett, that's different. 3rd overall pick, you have to play the guy, obviously. But you could say the same thing with Obi Toppin. Like, you still have to play him a good majority of minutes, like, coming off the bench. But we're messing with his confidence as well. Like, we can never develop talent, and it is so, so frustrating. And I'm not even asking him to get 25 minutes per game. At least bump it up 3 more. He's only getting 15.8 minutes per game, and he's still impactful in those minutes. 7.7 points per game, 52% from the field, and he's improved from the free throw line, 3.7 rebounds, like, 1 assist as well. I do think he's a better passer than that 1 assist really indicates there, but just like, it's frustrating. Like, are you really kidding me? And yeah, is Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau on the same page? Again, no Mitch, no even Noel. Like, just we had no available center, and we keep Burks out there, which made no sense at all. I really think it's unacceptable. I keep on saying that, but it is. Like, this is our 8th overall pick, and he's not even playing bad. He's improved. What do you do when someone's improving? You give them more minutes. 15.8 minutes per game. That's like a few more compared to last year. It's just awful. Do you guys think Obi Toppin's on the way out? Is it going to be for a point guard? Is he going to stick around? Because in my opinion, there's no point of him sticking around if we're giving him like 9-10 minutes. We'll see how his minutes are managed throughout the rest of the season. But I don't like it, y'all. I don't. Let me know down below your thoughts. Where would you like him to be traded if you do want to trade him? I don't want to trade Obi. Just give him consistent minutes. Like, we do need that pop offensively. We do need that guy that brings momentum to our basketball squad. I feel like we need athleticism, and Obi Toppin brings that to the table, because when you look at the starting lineup, there's like, Mitch is a great athlete. Julius Randle, he plays too outside oriented. RJ, he's not the like an above the rim like vertical guy when he's driving to the rim like layup wise. Like, you don't look at a crazy vertical. In the open floor, he's a good athlete. But Kemba, obviously, we're not expecting him to do anything special. Evan Fournier as well. So we need that momentum. Like, we need a lob threat besides Mitchell Robinson. Nerlens Noel can't consistently catch the ball. Taj Gibson's old. Jericho Sims barely plays. Like, are you worried about how this young talent's going to be moving forward with a Tom Thibodeau? Because he's so stubborn and he continuously plays like sometimes like Taj Gibson over an Obi Toppin. And keep in mind, this is when sometimes players aren't playing well. He still doesn't put Obi Toppin in the game. But yeah, let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all. Sorry, a little rant.